interview for sculptures with
Isabel.
Forrest.
Raina.
Julia.
Cassidy.
Catherine Boyer.
How did it feel to wear the sculpture?
And it felt weird because I guess it was neutral because I had to actually be like that at one point.
Physically, it felt a bit off, honestly. Growing up, hearing about pregnancy and birth, it usually has more of a lovable light on it, I guess I could say. And with this, it's more like something off, something wrong. These fetuses are coming out of you, and it felt different from what I grew up hearing about birth in general. It's like this inside-out pregnancy. Wearing this sculpture, it gives a new perspective.
How do you feel about pregnancy in general? Gross, scary, beautiful, a miracle, parasites?
Except for parasites. I think that mostly pregnancy is unplanned for most women. And I think that it's a fork in the road. And when you become pregnant, you have to decide what your life is going to be. Because now your life isn't just about you. You have to provide life and give life and nourish life for another human being.
It's a good thing, but if you want it, but it can also be a bad thing if you don't want it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be both a good thing and bad thing depending on the situation.
I think it's kind of scary because to me it's like babies are a parasite that like feed off of every fiber of your being and like change so much about your body and your mind.
Wondrous and horrifying.
I feel like I'm a good person to ask about this. I have a lot of dreams about being pregnant and giving birth, and I don't know, I feel like it's not, like, as having not experienced it, it's not necessarily like the beautiful thing that I think the media makes it out to be. I think it's kind of like scary and gory and horrific and really dangerous, but at the same time it's something that we were made to do. So it's kind of a weird, like, in between.
Have you been pregnant before? And how was that experience?
I had 3 lovely daughters, and all my pregnancies were good. I had healthy, natural pregnancies. Well, I had painkillers, but it was natural birth.
Do you plan on being pregnant someday?
I don't want to go through it. I just don't feel comfortable with the idea.
I'm not sure yet. Depends where the world goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think about bringing another life into a life that is already hard for you. Not to mention, like, an uncertain political future, an uncertain environmental future.
I feel like it's one of those things that's a privilege to be able to carry and give birth and give life. In terms of, I'd say, like, gender and sexuality things, it's sometimes an insurmountable challenge and a concept that's at odds sometimes with those other realities. There's been different parts of my life too where I've wanted to be pregnant, and then there's other parts, including the present, where it's not for me, and so I definitely inhabit both experiences. Yeah.
I've thought about it. I think I'm too young to decide at the moment, but I've always liked kids. I've liked the idea of having kids, but the thought of pregnancy can be a bit scary.
Yeah, especially with all, like, the medical concerns around it, the physical changes.
And also, just, like, state of the world, I guess. I'm a bit of an overthinker.
Yeah, you don't want to bring your kids into a world where you don't know if they would be able to live a good life.
Yeah.
At least another probably 10 years, but, like, someday.
Someday.
I think it's something, just because of how interested I am in it, it's something I need to experience. I also want kids, but it's something I think, for my sake, I need to experience.
something that you feel like would complete your human experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel about pregnancy in relation to your identity as a woman?
Pregnancy has relation to my identity as a woman. I think for my personal point of view, I'm really with the idea of just doing what you want. Your body is your body. I know that I definitely grew up with media where it was, or like seeing movies and books, especially period pieces where it's something expected. That's the purpose of being a woman, which my personal opinion is not. You do what you want with your body. And I feel I wouldn't lose any value or gain value with myself if I became pregnant.
That's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
I don't know. I don't hold it as like my value as a human being or a woman per se. I don't know. I come from a really big family, so like birth is very natural, I guess.
It's very common.
It's not like a taboo subject. I don't know. I don't hold value in it per se, but I think the experience to have personally would be valuable.
You don't think it makes up your whole?
Yeah, I think adoption is a very like noble thing at the same time,
And a valid avenue for motherhood.
Yeah.
I don't think it correlates that much. I feel like that's more rooted in like traditional, like that's kind of not the way of life. I don't know the word, but it just was expected. I feel like now, at least for me personally, I don't feel like that's really important to my identity or who I am, because I am my own person. Yeah, I have the ability to create life, but it's not a like oh
Not
my
a
God.
priority.
Not a priority.
Not something that you need to validate your own womanhood.
Exactly,
It
exactly.
comes from yourself rather than external or from a little parasite.
Exactly.
When I was younger, pregnancy was something that I never wanted because I was always taking care of kids. I was always babysitting, so I didn't want to have kids. And then I became pregnant, and it changed my identity because it gave me purpose. And it changed my life, or in a good way, because I decided I needed to create a better life for my kids. So that means I had to have a better life
For yourself.
for myself, to give them a good life.
All right. Thank you for the interview.